In here. Okay, this is the June 20th Parks and Rec Committee meeting. Welcome, everyone. We'll do a roll call vote. I'll just go around the table and give us your name, please.
Brian Vincent.
Terry Cope.
Larry Schultz.
Mary Larson.
Jeanette June.
Okay, and Ann Monkeys here is our staff person. This evening, the first order of business is the approval of the minutes from our April 18th meeting.
I have an edit on it.
I figured you might. Okay.
The section 3 says that the vice chair was Mary Larson, and that is not accurate. So the motion was made by Jeanette and seconded by Mary to nominate Wittenberg as the vice chair. So the names are right, they're just in the wrong order.
Got it.
And we tried to get her to be the vice chair.
I know. You
Couldn't sneak that
Good
one.
luck,
We're
guys.
still
Yeah,
trying
good
to
try.
get her to be the
Good try.
vice chair. Yeah.
Okay. Any other corrections to the minutes? Would somebody like to make a motion to make that change and approve the minutes as revised?
I move to accept the minutes as corrected.
Okay. Okay, motion made by Jeanette, seconded by Terry to approve the minutes with the revision on that particular thing that Mary brought up as far as who is the vice chair.
Was it Terry or Mary?
Or Larry.
Terry.
Terry.
Thank you. It sounded like Mary.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carried. Any petitions, proclamations, suggestions, complaints from anybody on the committee?
I would just like to remind people that the car show was this Wednesday night, and that the last one was very fun and lots of cars and lots of people, and the weather was cooperative. I'm not sure how hot it's going to be Wednesday night, but just encourage everybody to come. And Friday night at 7:30 at Poppets Fields, the Victoria Vics take on Chanhassen. And I think it'd be fun for some of us to be there. And check out the Poppets Field. It really is very nice, and the accommodations are great. And it was a fun crowd. I went last Sunday night, and it was a great crowd. So I would encourage everybody to participate or to attend their games.
What was the date? I'm sorry.
This Friday. At 7:30 at the field, at Poppets Field,
Where is Poppets Field?
at Lions Park.
Okay, so gotcha.
Yeah, it's kind of right next to where the tennis court was, got taken down. So a nice, big, nice parking lot, and that very nice parking lot pull in, and though it does get crowded, so.
I'm learning the city. I've been here only 11 years.
Okay, anybody have anything else they'd like to add? Thanks, Jeanette. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to old business. And the first item under old business is update on the pickleball court project.
Good evening, Parks and Rec Committee members. I just wanted to provide an update on the pickleball courts. We have been working on them for several months. And so I just wanted to get you up to speed on that. The location, as you'll recall, is at the Victoria Recreation Center. HTPO provided and updated our last meeting on the courts and all the amenities that are with it. We also included a shaded seating area that sits just off of the courts themselves, kind of in this area where my mouse is, if you can see it. And so bids were received on Tuesday, May 17th. And we received 3 different bids for the pickleball courts. The low bid being $489,994.69 from Park Construction. During our discussions and planning, the construction estimate for our engineering team came in at 383. So this construction bid came in significantly higher than what we anticipated. So I went to the council last Monday evening with adding the entire project together with HTPO services, the construction, windscreen, and signage, and came up with a total cost of about $560,774, which is still a little bit over budget. So I provided the council with some options for them to consider. One was to reject the bids. Another was to remove either the windscreen or the lights or the seated shaded area to help us get reduce the cost of the total project. And then the council, after much discussion, decided to utilize funds from the park fund, $30,000 from the park fund. And then we have ended up paying for the Swiss Mountain Playground equipment this year. And I had increased the budget for another playground this year, which we're going to end up having a little extra money, about $30,000 extra, because we weren't able to pay for the Swiss Mountain playground last year. So we ended up with that amount, $30,000 from the general fund and $30,000 from the park fund to get us down to be able to cover the cost of the entire project. So the council did approve it, and the construction is anticipated to start towards the end of July or the first part of August, with hopes of getting it done yet this year. So we may end up having a few items that we have to do in the spring, with like the windscreen or some signage, but our goal is to get that done this year. So I am happy to answer any questions that you guys may have, or comments.
When you say done this year, is it still within the playable, weather conditions, or?
Likely not this year.
Okay.
It'll take a while. And then once the blacktop is laid, they've got to let it sit for 30 days before they can apply the paint coating to it.
Gotcha.
It's gotta,
So it'll be late spring, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
Makes sense.
yep. So,
Okay, any comments, questions? It's great to have that approved and going to become a reality here, so.
I would say the council was very enthusiastic about the pickleball courts, so.
Yeah, I agree. That's good. All right. Hearing nothing else on that, thanks, Ann. We'll move on to an update on the Bavaria Trail East Trail Gap project.
sure, back in March, towards the end of March, the council, based on the input from you guys in your March meeting, the council directed staff to go out and get some cost estimates and plans for the Bavaria East Trail from Alley Lane to County Road 43. So it's about a 0.3 mile section of trail along the east side of Bavaria Road. The council also directed staff to contact the impacted residents along that route for their input. And so in April, I sent out letters, and then again in April, I sent out emails. So about May-ish, I started getting responses from the residents. In total, there's about 6 residents. 2 were in favor of the project as it was. 2, we made some modifications to the trail itself. As you recall, last year, we ended up going from a 10-foot trail down to an 8-foot trail. But there was some concerns about some water runoff, particularly with 2 residents. So we added some curb and gutter along that section. to basically complete curb and gutter along that entire route, which will help with water throughout the entire project. And then we had some grade adjustments that we needed to make with one resident. And then there were two that still preferred to have the trail go on to the east side, to the west side of Bavaria. And so I did communicate with them and let them know that this item was going to go back to the council last Monday evening as well, for them to approve bidding that project, and no residents did show up for that project. So the total estimate cost for the project is about $275,270. Because it's such a small project, we plan to add it to one of the street projects that's occurring this year. So it will be bid with that project as an alternate. Bids are going to be due by June 30th. And so we're hoping for city council action on July 11th if all goes well with the bidding. So that project also seems to be, at least it's making some progress and headway. And I know you guys have worked hard on that too. So happy to answer any questions about that one.
So what would the time frame be if the council approves that project and it moves forward?
My guess is that the construction would be yet this fall, I would think, but I'll know more if the project is awarded and then we meet with the contractor. But that would be our goal, is to get that done this year yet too.
Okay.
Okay. Other comments, questions? Be nice to get at least part of that done, moving forward, and have two projects done for this year, if it all works out here. Okay, moving right along. This might be a new record. The new business is our mid-year update to the city council.
Sure, and I'm gonna turn this one over to our Chair Schultz for an update. Larry was kind enough to come to the council meeting last Monday to provide the council with an update, mid-year update on the Parks and Rec Committee doings and workings for the first 5 months. So with that, Larry, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, well, I gave the report, and in front of you are some of the items that were covered. Of course, we talked about the pickleball courts and the efforts that's gone into getting us to that point, and thanks to a number of people and a number of volunteers, pickleball players that helped with that, and the work that we've done along the way. Talked about the reconstruction of the tennis courts and basketball court at Lions Park. Those projects are underway. Did they start that project this last week?
Yes, I was going to provide an update on that at the end.
Okay. And then we were asked this year to look at trail gaps and look at a new area that some citizens brought up. We incorporated that into our review of trail gaps and presented 5 priority areas for the council. We, along with that, when we talked about trail gaps, I brought up, one of the other things we did is we reviewed the Brookmore neighborhood, and we had recommended that in lieu of a park, we accept the park fee, and what is it called, fees in lieu of, or?
Yeah, yes.
Fees in lieu of the park and was going to be like 380-some thousand approximately. And the city council, after discussion, decided to put a park in that area, which is certainly their prerogative, and they're dealing with it. And I just pointed out that we really appreciate their support of parks in the community, and it's great to have parks and new parks and that, but also please keep in mind that the reason that we had made that decision was we also need those funds to support future projects and things as well. And I think they're well aware of that. So I just wanted to point that out as well. We also talked about the plan for the Lakeside Estates Park Phase 2, which is supposed to take place next year. So we'll be doing that planning for the rest of the year. Talked about the Emerald Ash Borer Management Plan that we're overseeing. Talked about the volunteer opportunities and the opening of our preserve, which we've had several volunteers, I believe, with different projects out there, and that's been paved now as well, so it's more handicapped accessible. I think that was about the main things that I talked about. They had this other information in front of them. Jeanette, was there anything I missed that I covered?
No.
Okay.
No.
Jeanette provided moral support, as did Ann. So anyway, we've worked on a number of things this year, and some of those things are coming to fruition now, and it's going to be exciting to see the pickleball courts done, and tennis court and basketball court redone, which will be great. I guess the strength equipment's now at the rec center.
Not yet.
Not yet?
It's supposed to be here anytime.
Okay. And we could ask the Emerald Ash Borers to go someplace else in a different community, but I guess they don't hear real well. Other than that, any questions on the report to the council? The council is very appreciative of our work, and they stated that. So thanks to each of you for helping make this community a really great place to live, to enjoy our parks and the recreation opportunities we have here. Any questions? Okay, moving right along. We have the update on other business, the rec center memberships and programs.
Yes, this is a monthly item for you. As you can see, our memberships ticked up again a little bit in between April and May, while visits were down, because I think once people were able to get outside a little bit more, they tend to recreate and exercise outside a little bit more. So we did see a little bit of a drop off too, and with graduations and things like that, I know we do tend to have a little bit of a lull, especially towards the end of the month. But we also, still continue to have our fitness classes and pickleball visitors that they tend to go outside. Also in May, as soon as the weather gets nice, we do still have a few that come in, and we did offer some pickleball clinics, 3 different ones, I believe, or 2 different ones. The 45 community gardens that we have were opened up. The Wasserman Lake Preserve, we did have an open house finally. Last year it was canceled, so we didn't have a whole lot of participation, but we did get the open house in. We also attended the Senior Expo that was held and sponsored by the Senior Commission, and that was at the Lions Pavilion, and it was a fairly decent turnout for the first year, I thought. So you obviously staying busy. We also now have started all of our recreation programs are underway. T-ball and coach pitch, and unfortunately tonight they were supposed to be playing ball, and and it's picture night too. So we kept pictures on, but we did cancel T-ball this evening just due to the weather conditions. So our first week of recreation programs wasn't the greatest weather-wise. I think Monday it rained, Tuesday it was really, really hot, and then Wednesday it rained again. So yeah, it wasn't great, but We also started concerts in the park. We've been, this will be our this coming Wednesday will be our third event. The first night, really well attendance with the classic car show. And then last week, we had a smaller crowd, but still a good turnout for concerts in the park. Yes, if you have driven by Lions Park, they started tearing the basketball court down today. Last week, they did much of the tear down and excavation work at the tennis courts. So when I swung by here today, I pulled in and I see they were rolling the tennis court. So I anticipate we'll be having blacktop probably tomorrow or sometime this week. It's scheduled. So that should be coming along quite nicely, and those should be able to be used relatively soon this summer yet. So we're in full swing for sure. So that's my update on the things happening. And I wanted to give a big shout out to Holly Koffold, who is our recreation supervisor. She pulled a lot of programs together again this summer that, a lot of different camps and art classes and dance classes for the itty bitties are really going well. So we're excited to try to incorporate that programming in with all the other programs that we have. And the Lions Pavilion has been crazy with requests coming in for graduations for next year. I'm guessing in the last 3 weeks on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, I bet we've had, and each day is, so 9 days, I bet we've had close to 70 to 80 requests that come in for the use of the Lions Pavilion. So that's almost a full-time job in itself, trying to keep up with that. So, and yeah, unfortunately, it opens up at midnight. So folks are staying up at midnight hitting that button, and I try to tell them it's sort of like when you go buy tickets at Ticketmaster, and sometimes you get in, sometimes you don't. So
Like an opportunity to increase fees.
yeah. Which you guys will be looking at soon. The fee schedule will be coming out fairly soon with our budget discussions and capital improvement plans. So
What's your registration like for your summer programs, for the kids' recreation programs? Just kind of curious with COVID and.
it's still down a little bit, and it really depends on the program. Like our T-ball and coach pitch is down a little bit. And our playground program is down. Some of the sessions are down, and some of them have waiting lists in them. So, I don't know if it's the date of, the time of day. But like the art classes and the dance classes, those are filling up. We're kind of seeing a little bit of a switch this year with where things are filling and where things are not. But we're still down a little bit. So, and I don't know if that is a change in the demographics on ages of kids. I'm not sure. Or interests. But our soccer camps and baseball camps and basketball camps are doing well too. So.
All right. It's like upcoming agenda items and dates.
Yeah, so I wanted to just kind of give a quick preview. Generally, we always have a park tour in the summer, so I would be proposing that we do that at the very next meeting. And I know, Mary, sorry you're not going to be here, but I would anticipate that we'd be able to hit Lions Park again, because I would guess tennis and basketball courts would be close to being done. One of the things, too, I wanted you guys to take a look at was shelter number 2. Because that is on our list for a rehab fairly soon. So, that is one area that we could hit. And I'm happy to put together a little bit of a tour of locations, unless everybody, unless you guys have got ideas about where you would like to go. And I doubt that the pickleball courts will be underway yet, but.
Was Lakeside, was that last year that we went there?
Yes.
That was kind of that open area?
Yes, yep.
All right, well, we'll let you, unless somebody has a request of what parks they'd like to see, we'll let you come up with those that you think would be most helpful for us to view.
Sure, and we'll just probably just plan to meet at the rec center if that's okay, and I'll send out agenda and I'll put a little tour together for us for that day. In August, we'll be looking at general fund budgets and capital improvement plans for the Parks and Rec and Recreation Center. And again, in September, we'll be looking at the rec center. In October, I'll be sending out RFPs, requests for proposals for design services for Lakeside Estates Park Phase 2. So that will begin the process of designing and finishing up that park in 2023 is when it's scheduled. And then in November, we'll get, in one of those months too, we'll get the fee schedule out throughout this budget process and CIP. So whenever we get it from the finance department, I will include it in that month's activity. But overall, we really hit the ground running early on and got a lot of the projects that were planned and scheduled for this year out of the way. So kudos to you guys for that.
One of the things that I brought up at the city council meeting was the importance of keeping our facilities and parks up to date, and also make sure we're doing the maintenance, preventive maintenance and things. So we're protecting the investment that the community's made, and they certainly were in agreement with that. So I think as we go through our budget process this year, we'll ask Ann to put down what she thinks we need to maintain what we have. So we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves where we're just so focused on everything new that we can't keep current with our maintenance and things wear out before they really should. So, and as we're growing, new facilities, that puts extra strain on the dollars that are there. So obviously we're going to probably need more time allocated to keeping the new things, pickleball courts, et cetera, trails, it's not a huge addition to the trail system, but still adding to it. We'll keep those things up to date. And again, they understand that. So, anything else?
And I forgot to ask, this is back at the rec center, but the fee, the admission fee for people who are not members, remember it went up, like, was it April 1st?
Yes.
From $4 to $5. I don't know if you got any feedback or any.
Nothing real negative about it. I mean, it's been like that for probably 14 years.
Yeah.
So it needed to go up. So, no, we didn't get any negative feedback at all, except for the kids that come in and they go, "Oh, I don't have the extra dollar." So we let them go in and then say next time. So, yeah, we tried to get advance warning out with signage and reminding those kids that do come in that it would increase, and older adults too. So.
Chanhassen just raised their rates too for pickleball. I was playing a little bit of open pickleball there, and I want to say that was in April or May. They raised theirs like $1 too. So, pretty much in the same range we are. Yeah.
Yeah, we look at other facilities, granted, all the recreation centers that are around the area, it's hard to compare them because a lot of them will have a pool, or 3 ice arenas, or pickleball courts. And so it's hard to compare rates, especially when people have an indoor and outdoor pool. That's really a challenge to, compare the two. So we try to find ones that are more similar to ours, and then utilize that information to see what rates are out there, so.
How does a rec center get reimbursed for like silver sneakers or other programs similar to that?
So we have several different, I will call them health fitness programs, that we take in different insurances that, will reimburse us for, or will reimburse the member. So there's several different types of programs available. So we work with a fitness, I want to say a health and fitness club organization that it's offered throughout the state to all the recreation centers that have memberships. So in those cases, the member themselves pay for the entire membership. And if they attend 12 times, the organization will then reimburse them for up to $20 of their membership. We have other ones that we, the city, are required to track their votes. So we really make sure that people want to check in every time they come in the facility, because in certain ones, we have to provide a monthly input or input monthly data and track those visits. And then we will get reimbursed for how many ever visits and up to a certain amount. So in those cases, and technically they're not even members, they're visitors. They don't have to pay anything, but that organization that we utilize will reimburse us for those. And most of those are tied to Medicare programs through UCare, through Health Partners. We also have a Silver Sneakers and a Silver and Fit program. So there's a lot of them to keep track of. And so, but there's a lot of organizations, health insurance companies that have these programs available to their members. So, and it seems like it changes every year. So once when we figure out what we're doing, then they'll change them on us. So.
Okay, anything else this evening? If not, a motion would be in order to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, we're adjourned.
Woo-hoo, rec time.